Spirit of God, open our hearts to your word spoken for us. That hearing you, the veil will be lifted, and we will be free. Amen. What must it be like to wait? Now, we all wait for things. We wait in traffic, we wait in line, we wait for answers. We wait for the cold winter to be over and for a day like this to finally come. We wait for struggles in our life to be over. We wait for answers. We wait for the good and beautiful moments in our life to come along. But what must it be like to wait for 38 years? 38 years. I think most of us were around 38 years ago. Not everybody. I think most of us know what it was like 38 years ago. It was 1981. Diana and Charles got married. Raiders of the Lost Ark was in the movies. The Iran hostage crisis ended. Reagan was sworn in as president, and 2 months later was almost assassinated by John Hinckley. I was in the 7th grade. 38 years is a very long time. Think back, if you were around 38 years ago. Think back to what it was like in 1981. Can you imagine waiting and hoping for 38 years, waiting to be well, waiting to be healed? I think that after this much time, most people would have said, well, this is it. This is simply my lot in life. This is what's going to be, and it's never going to really change. I think that most people, after 38 years of being sick, would have made peace with the fact that this illness would simply be part of their life forever. But this man, after 38 years, was still hopeful, still believing that somehow, at some time, he would be healed. He wouldn't have been waiting there day after day if he didn't believe that at some point he would make it somehow to those waters. The waters that were probably no more than a few feet away from him, but probably seemed miles away. But he still sat there and believed. And even when people went in front of him, people that may have been there for less time than he was, and he probably thought, why are their prayers being answered and not mine? Why is God healing them and not me? Why is there no healing for me who has been sick for 38 years? But in all of that, the Spirit was listening. The Spirit knew what had to be done. See, this man didn't need the quick fix in these waters of illusion. True healing was on its way through Jesus. Maybe there was a reason that other people went in front of him. You see, what this man was hoping in was superstition, and tales and empty promises about angels stirring up the waters. False hope was what he was holding on to. It was all he had. And I think about this man lying on this mat. What if he had made it to those waters? What if someday he saw the water stirring up first and got down there and went into the water? What would have happened? He wouldn't have been healed. And maybe in his frustration and his anger, he would have left. He would have left the pool. And then the day Jesus showed up, he wouldn't have been there. Maybe there was a reason he had to wait. See, when we're putting our hopes in the wrong things, in ways that are not of God, the Spirit will block us over and over and over. To say, wait, this is not the way. You want to go down here because it looks promising. It looks easy. It looks like the answer, but this is not where you belong. So we get blocked over and over again until we finally figure out and wait to hear, no, this is the way you need to go. Sometimes we want something so badly, we want a prayer answered so deeply. We need healing for ourselves or someone else so desperately that we're willing to place our hopes in stories and superstitions. Quick fixes, advice that our friends give us, advice from horoscopes, competition and conquest, instead of listening and waiting for the genuine voice of God, which is the only place we're ever going to find true healing. Easy answers, empty promises, and showy packages are very tempting. The man in the gospel bought into them. Sometimes we want them as well. You see, when we're waiting for God to deliver us, we may want the answer so badly that we reveal the God that we want, instead of waiting for the God to reveal the truth to us. We want to hear answers so badly that we put the words we want to hear on the lips of God. It is only in God, the true God, not the one we so often make in our image and likeness, that says what we want to hear. It's only in that God that we hear. Wait on God. The answer is coming. God says yes to us. God will bring us the healing we need. But first, there is always a question that we're asked. In the gospel today, Jesus says to the man at Bethzatha, "Do you want to be made well?" Think about that question. This man has been ill for 38 years, waiting day after day, month after month, year after year to get into this pool. And Jesus asks him, "Do you want to be well?" It sounds like such a ridiculous question. So why ask him? You see, Jesus knew that not all people who are sick want to be made well. Some people get used to the sickness. Some people have been broken for so long that they know no other way. They know that they're unhappy. They know there's something missing, some piece in their life that eludes them. But they don't really want to be healed or know how to be healed. Some people may confuse their healing with distraction or an easy answer. So Jesus asks us a question too. Now the question is different for all of us. For one person, the question Jesus asks you may be, do you trust me? To another, the question may be, what exactly are you looking for? To another, what are you willing to let go of? Can you speak up for yourself? Can you forgive? Can you change? Can you walk with me and give your life to me and me alone? To still others, will you trust all that you love most deeply to me? Your family, your health, your life, your marriage, even when you're afraid. And we have to answer that question. Before we find healing, we have to answer truthfully. Before our life can turn around, before it can become what it should be. See, God will never force grace on you. We want healing, we want a better life, but we don't want to change how we live. We want to keep going in the right direction and have healing given to us without any change on our part. We want Christ, but we don't want sacrifice. We want peace in our life, but we insist on controlling the things and sometimes the people around us. And that is why the Spirit asks us the question, do you want to be made well? Is God's dream for you really what you want? So if you're waiting on your mat for your life to happen, then maybe it's time to change, to sacrifice, to surrender, to step out in faith and trust in God, realizing maybe my way of doing things all this time isn't working out so well. Maybe God's plan really is a better way, as difficult as it may be, as all the things I have to let go of may be. The name of the pool in today's gospel, Bethzatha, either means house of mercy or house of grace. In both Hebrew and Aramaic, the word can also mean shame or disgrace. This man not only was sick, but he was the least of the sick. He was alone. Jesus came to him in this place of despair and sadness and competition, a place of false hopes, and he brought truth to him. Sir, the man says to Jesus, I have no one to put me into the pool. And when the water is stirred up while I'm still making my way, someone else steps in front of me. This man was the least and the last and the loneliest of the rejected. But it was to him that God came that day. See, my sisters and brothers, hope and persistence with God never, ever goes unanswered. So where are you looking? Where are you looking? Are you looking at the water? Or are you looking at the way? I am the way and the truth and the life, he tells us. So don't put your hopes in things and in people and stories and superstitions, or you will be waiting for a very, very long time for healing. Go to where you are being called, the place that you know is right, however frightening and unfamiliar that may be. If you look in the right direction and answer the question the Spirit asks you, the waiting and the hurt and the anger and the brokenness and the confusion will disappear in a blink. And in a little time will be nothing more than a distant memory. Amen. Amen. Let it be so.